You're rolling? Okay. Guys, today marks a very special day. I will be counting down to the days that I give back the M240i to the dealership. It's been about 3 years now, ever since I first picked up the car. You guys saw it. If you haven't, it's here. Don't remember. Yeah, it's been an awesome ride, but I think it's time to give back the car. I know I haven't had many videos ever since for the past year now, but I mean, I figured I owe it to, you know, the car, to you guys, to give it a proper send-off and kind of just have a chance to say goodbye to the car. So this will be me vlogging just kind of my journey into, well, I guess the end of the journey with the 240i, and potentially into another car, which I have been already in negotiations for. So hopefully that all works out. I'm on my way to the dealership right now to check out the car, but for now this is kind of just an intro to the outro, as it were. So I just got back from the dealership, and I figured it's going to be time to maybe go over the car a little bit, how it's treated me and how I've treated it in the past 3 years. I guess I'll start off with the interior. I just parked off to the side here. Hopefully it's okay. So interior wise, I didn't do much to the car. This has pretty much been my view for the past 3 years now. I mean, as you can see, I put on roughly just under 53,000 kilometers ever since I picked up the car. I mean, I treated it well. I haven't done much to the interior of the car. I mean, I put this little magnet here, which a lot of people have been asking me about. This one is just from eBay. I mean, it has a BMW logo on it. Nothing special though. It's a magnetic one, so I can take this off, and that's it. It's literally just a double two-way magnet, and on the other side is 3M tape, which I used myself. It did come with some, but it was not that strong, so I used the one that I got from the store. These are the classic shades that I wear. There's a green one. There's a blue one in my bag somewhere. I don't have it here. And this mirror is just a Broadway mirror. This one's a 40mm mirror. Just flat, not convex in any way. I prefer this one over all the other mirrors I've tried from Broadway. So the interior is pretty much the same. I didn't touch this. I was gonna wrap this some sort of carbon fiber wrap, but I figured it looked kind of tacky and cheap. And I mean, I think I paid for this option. No, did I not? No, I chose this option, so you know, I might as well kind of flaunt it. I know it's been hit or miss for a lot of people. I personally liked it. It was a little bit more mature than the usual silver or brushed aluminum or hexagon trim that came with the car back in the day. Otherwise, you know, I did option this with the moonroof. I used it enough, but not quite enough for me to keep one on the next car, wink wink. So that's kind of a hint at what car I'm going to be getting next. And you know, that's it. The rear seats probably used, let's say, less than 20 times in the past 3 years, because you know, when I hang out with my friends, they have their own cars, and they likely want to be in their own cars rather than be cramped back here. So I end up carpooling with them rather than them carpooling with me. This little feature here, I've actually never used. No, I've used it probably once or twice, and it came in handy. It's a fun little party trick. Everyone loves it. But you know, that it is what it is. A nice little thing to have. Yeah, that's it for the interior. Alright, so let's put these on and go outside. So as you can see, the first thing here, I think this was one of the first things installed in the car. This is 3 years later. It's a little dusty. No, yeah, a little bit dusty. Not so bad. But I've had this for the past 3 years. People ask me how it's held up under the sun, and if it made any sort of whistling noises whenever I was on the highways or going a little faster. I never heard anything, never saw any issues. It looks as good as the day I picked it up, honestly. So would recommend. You can see it is a little dusty. I'm just wiping that off and to really show the shine. So moving on to the back, might as well visit the other carbon fiber piece I installed. So this is a trunk lip spoiler. I haven't had any issues with it ever since I installed it. It looks, again, as good as the day I installed it. Nice aggressive look. So it's held up quite nicely in the past 3 years. And moving on down here, I installed the rear reflectors I mean, that's what they look like. They match, I would say, 95%, maybe even 100% when you get the car a little bit dirty and the colors are not as obvious. I think the front reflectors are a little bit more iffy. I'd call them 85 to 90% match. It might just be the way the sun hits it. Maybe it's a little bit angled, but I noticed it's a little bit grayer. I think the camera is showing it as well. It's not as perfect match, but I mean, it is close enough. And again, once you get the car dirty, no one's really gonna notice it. The front lip is one thing I never made a video on, actually, and this was also carbon fiber. This is the one I picked up from a local seller on Craigslist. So people are asking me where I got it. When I picked it up, it looked good and everything, but the fitment was horrible. I had a horrible time installing it, which is why I never made a video for it. But it did change the look of the car, and once I had it on, I just figured I'm not gonna take it off and make another video for it. It's just not worth the trouble. And I don't know, honestly, if you guys are gonna get a front lip, invest some money, spend a little bit more. I spent just like 150 bucks on this and just never look back. And another thing I installed was the kidney grills. I mean, not much to say. These are just gloss black. I don't see this getting damaged in any way in terms of this, sun damage. I don't have any rock chips on it, luckily. I think some people do get it sometimes, but for me, they've held on quite nicely ever since. I also installed this little tow hook license plate mount. I was getting a lot of hate for this one, actually, when I installed it. People called it ricey, and they said they didn't like the way it looked off to the side, ruined the symmetry of the car. There was like comments about everything. I just personally prefer this. The only reason I did this, really, otherwise I would have had it right down the middle. I just didn't want to drill holes in the bumper. I mean, that's all it really came down to. And I was used to having it mounted like this, and at the time when I picked up the car, I was very excited about what can I do to the car, and this was one of the first things I could figure I had to do, because I didn't want to drill the bumper, and I had to. Legally over here you have to have a front license plate, so that was my only option. And of course, out here I got the new wheels that I got after I released a video of when I first installed it on the car, kind of showcased it rolling around. I never made any subsequent videos, and that's my bad, guys. Things got busy, life kind of changed a little bit even before that, and priorities took over, and I was just unable to release much more. But there isn't much to say on this. They fit very nicely, no issues. They give the car a much more aggressive stance, definitely. These are 9s in the rear, 8s in the front. I have them wrapped in the Michelin Pilot Super Sports. They've been beautiful ever since, and you can see kind of how it fits from here as well. Let me see if I can get away from the car, actually. That's pretty much what the car sits like. Woo! All right. I mean, it's been a good 3 years. I want to thank everyone for all the support they've given me over the past 3 years. I know I have been MIA for 1 out of those 3 years. The last video I uploaded was like a year ago, and that was not really, there wasn't much going on in that. It wasn't really totally about the car, but it was kind of more about the adventure I've taken with the car. And I was hoping to do more of that, but things got busy, life kind of took over, and it is just what it is. So, I mean, now I'm at a crossroads here. I took the car in for maintenance, and that was a big mistake, because they had me sitting down with a sales guy, and he went over numbers with me and introduced me to a whole new world of this is potentially your next car. So that got me excited, and the ball's rolling real quick, guys. So the time with the car now is very limited, and I'm totally gonna miss it. I'm happy I picked up this car. Nothing but joy ever since I picked it up almost exactly 3 years ago. Hope to do more videos, and anyone who wants to stick around on the channel, I know the M240 is gone. Going forward, you are going to be seeing a new car on the channel. One thing I forgot to go over was the M pedals that I installed a couple years back. So you can see they've kind of wear down a little bit on the sides here. For the most part, it looks good. I think actually this matches the dead pedal a lot better, but this is what it is. Looks like it's taken a lot of wear. And also the stopper at the end made such a huge difference to the clutch throw. I recommend to anyone to install this right away. It's a cheap and easy mod, and made a huge difference to the feel of the clutch. Something I forgot to mention was the tune, because I think that's the one I get questions about the most. So, time to put that to rest. It's warm. Careful. I've had no issues with the tune ever since I got moved to the V2 version of the tune, which was covered by Dynan, of course. Let me quickly get the thing in the back. Alright, read it and weep. This is Dynatronics Elite Performance Tuner V2. So I've had this on the car for quite a while now. Actually about a year, ever since I went kind of on a hiatus. This is it. I mean, it's installed in the car. I haven't had any issues. I heard it was less aggressive than the V1, but that's probably for good reason, because the V1 was clearly unstable, causing a bunch of issues for not just myself, but a couple other people. So, I mean, this is what came with it. Instructions and this little, I think this is a little bypass module. I think. I haven't used it at all. I think that's what it is. So it's just under here, you know, there's less connectors. It's messing with less connection ports, so I think that might be the trick to keeping things stable. But I mean, it is what it is. It's installed and it's been running fine ever since. So if you guys were to go with a tune, I don't know if they're still selling the V1. Hopefully, don't get it. Definitely get the V2 if you're going to go with Dynan. Otherwise, there's obviously the JB4 tunes and other maybe more affordable tunes you can look at. Close this up again. So I want to thank you guys for all your love and support over the past 3 years that I've had this car. It's been a blast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the journey with me. I know I did. So look forward to the next car. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.